Oh, welcome back to What the Football?
What the football, man?
What the Football?
Hey, there it is.
I am your host, Caleb Regler, along with
Your co-host, Tadhg Morosky. Legally changed my name recently.
and we are back. Have not uploaded since early October, week 5.
You know, the peak of the football season. We decided we wanted to save all our good stuff for the next season because we were like, hey, we had a lot of fun stuff to talk about over the summer when football is really at its peak. But during football season, let's hold off and let's wait until the football season ends again.
Well, sure. Why not? That seems like the smartest approach, and that's what we went with.
We're a summertime podcast.
They didn't hear how my trip to LA went against the Browns. It was great. One of the best games of the season. It was fantastic.
It was a great
worked out really well for us at the end of the season. But yeah.
We talk about that Raiders-Chargers game at the end of the season.
Easily a top 5 game last season.
That was number
1.
Guys, we've missed so much with each other, and I hope you're all doing well.
How about that overtime?
How about Cam Newton going back to the Panthers? But then he's not there anymore, but they might re-sign him. I don't know if you've seen that.
Who knows? And that's what we're here to talk about today is the craziness of this offseason. So many things have happened. Devontae to the Raiders. J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack to the Chargers. Russell Wilson to the Broncos. Tyreek Hill leaving the Chiefs. Hey, did you just mention that the craziest things that happened are all part of AFC West teams? It's an arms race in the AFC West. Tom Brady retiring, then 40 days later unretiring.
Yeah, I got some words about that.
I know you do. Your NFC South is just it was going to be.
I'm not kidding. We could be the worst division in football. Like, I actually think we could be.
I wouldn't doubt it. You and the AFC South will have some. It's the South divisions.
It's the Southern boys.
Also, welcome to, first of all, our first edition of What the Football After Hours.
Nice. I was so hoping you were going to do that. I was like, in my head, I was like, I hope he sings Phineas.
I am being sponsored by Bud Light Seltzer Hard Sodas tonight.
Okay, guys, we have to go on a separate tangent quickly. Since the last time we saw each other, I now have a salary job.
Yes, you are living in Charlotte now.
I'm living in Charlotte, guys. When we first started this podcast, me and Caleb lived together.
Correct.
Then we went through a phase of living apart in Boone, and now we live apart in separate cities. I'm in
2
Charlotte,
hours
guys.
away from each other. And it's sad.
It's sad. It's very sad. I work at a company called Adams Beverages. They are a beer distribution company. We distribute Budweiser, Bud Light, Mick Ultra, Stella, Bud Light Seltzers, White Claw. We are huge, and this is a plug for Adams Beverages.
Sponsor us, Adams Beverages.
I might have to talk to Colin.
Shout out Colin.
But no, shout out Colin. So we decided maybe once a week, or maybe it'll be less than that. Maybe once a month. We're going to do a little special thing called What the Football After Hours. And we're going to be sipping on a few. It might get a little more heated, but hey, that's what you guys are here for. That's what we're here for. I've had 2.5 margaritas. I've had 2 drinks so far. I'm feeling okay.
I would like to say, Mom, I'm sorry. I promise you I'm drinking responsibly. I'm in the confines of my own home, and I will not be drunk. Okay. I want that to be known for my mother. I love you, Mara.
I'm going to let my mom and father know I will be drunk, and that's just
perfect. All right. Crazy offseason so far. Crazy season in what should be the
Bengals went to the Super Bowl.
The Bengals went to the Super Bowl. They lost, but everyone pegged them as the worst team in that division.
Including us.
Absolutely. Why had them as a 5-win team?
God. But hey, they proved all of us wrong. And
Joe Burrow.
The Bengals became my new Browns. I'm going to let you guys know on that.
Oh gosh. I love Joey B. There might be a lot of you people out there that might think, it's Herbert versus Burrow. I want to see Burrow succeed. I like him a lot. He's so cool.
Cool is the perfect way to describe it. He's got swag.
He's got swagger.
And he's what I wanted Baker Mayfield to be, honestly. The way that everyone views Joe is how I viewed Baker. And I still view Baker that way. But the Bengals are my new Believeland. And that sounds like I'm picking them because they were good. You might not believe me, you guys. I know Caleb does believe me. It has nothing to do with their abilities.
No.
It has everything to do with the swag and how they play.
You're a Panthers fan. I could never peg you as a bandwagon, same as you could never peg me as a bandwagon. Our teams historically suck. So like we're not choosing teams because they're good. We promise.
Wherever Baker goes next, I will be a fan of that team. But I'm gonna be a Cleveland fan. But maybe their
Deshaun Watson going to the Browns. Hello.
Okay.
Anyway, we might get to that. Today, what we have in store for y'all on this What the Football After Hours is we have our top 5 teams in each conference that change the most, for better or for worse. It could be any reason that we have that they changed a lot. Again, it could be a great signing that they had or a terrible trade that they made and they lost a good player. We don't know.
And I'll tell you guys right now, I didn't do any research. This is all just what I know off the top of my head. I know these signings. These are the big ones. Okay, let me tell you guys why we're back. I'm working today, working out a truck. I have my AirPods in. I'm chilling, listening to my music. I was like, I want to listen to something else. I'm getting bored. I remember we're on Apple Podcasts. I was like, I haven't listened to Apple Podcasts in 2 years ago is when we were doing, 2 seasons ago is when we were doing Apple Podcasts. Last season we were YouTube. We were living together. I was like, let me listen to the episode where we mentioned Mark as our social media manager, who is back.
Shout out Mark.
Shout out Mark. But I was just thinking, this was so fun when it wasn't like a job. When we joined the bench, it became a job. It became 8 a.m. We got to get up.
No hate on the bench. No. To any of those people involved, anybody that is still involved.
It was a really cool opportunity.
I
think the bench went under, but yeah.
It wasn't what we thought it was going to be. And it did become a job. It had a time crunch and it was so meticulous in when and where we had to do this.
Where and when.
Big R1, I'll be there in 10. But it just became it did become I like that analogy, Yuzi. It was almost like a job where it was something that we had to do instead of what we wanted to do. And this whole podcast was thought of and brought up by me and Tadhg want to talk football. We want to say and talk about whatever we want to in the NFL world.
And that could be to one listener to a million listeners. We're going to have the same thought process. We just want to talk about football. I think we got too up in the fact that we want to try and make this big. We want to get as well known as whatever.
I will enjoy this again. If it's 0 listeners,
it's going to be
the top podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It doesn't matter. I just want to talk about football.
Exactly. I'm glad we can agree on that. And we're back to having a good time, you guys.
We are on Chargers Avenue, I believe. Is that what this is? Chargers Way, excuse me.
Danger, high voltage, everyone.
Please I don't even have it up anymore.
That is disappointing to hear.
It's really sad.
Guys, he used to have a sign in his closet that said danger, high voltage, and it had the Chargers logo. Gotta be the lamest piece of memorabilia ever made.
The Steelers have their terrible towels. That was like my terrible towel.
I wouldn't share that with anyone in the public.
Here's the thing. Okay, maybe not proud. I am a Chargers fan till I die. And sometimes I'm not proud of that. But it's who I am, so I have to embrace it.
I can respect that.
But yeah, I think that was a long enough intro.
I think so.
And yeah, let's just get right into it. We have first up our top 5 teams in each conference who changed the most. And then at the end, we're doing a little first take kind of action here. We have two we have 2 we have 2 questions per person. I have 2. T has 2. We did let each other know what these questions were in advance. We do not know our list for the top 5s yet of each other, but we do have these debate questions where we're going to ask a question and debate.
And we don't know each other's answers to the debate questions.
Correct. We know the questions. We don't know the answers. So we could agree. We could disagree. Who knows?
We just figured, in the big shows, they obviously know what they're talking about before, so they can prepare in their head at least a little.
They have stats. They have papers in front of them. What the Football was not built off preparation
No, we're very much in the moment.
We are improvised. That is what we do best. Teague did improv. I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever played forward reverse, but tweet forward, hey, how are you? Tweet reverse, how are you? Hey.
Yes, and basically. So
you guys watch High School Musical, the series, check out the Yes and episode.
Right. I don't know if you guys have noticed by now, this will be a very loose episode. But let's get right onto it. Let's start with the AFC first, because I think that has the most.
Okay.
The biggest
best
kind of,
Yes, the AFC is far and away better than the NFC.
Oh,
it's not even a question.
Not even a question.
The AFC West.
Most improved, or no, not most improved, most changed.
Most changed. I'll tell you. So I guess they're kind of in order. It's a loose order. Number 5.
I would agree with that as well.
It's in order of what I thought of them. So, it could be, that means typically your number ones are going to be the most obvious ones. Excuse me. Number 5, I have the Cleveland Browns. I mean, you got to think they brought in Deshaun Watson, generational talent, who will be suspended to start the season. I'm going to go ahead and assume. I don't know if they'll be great this year. He might get suspended none. He might get suspended 10 games to start the year. And then he'll be like, next year, they might be a real difference maker. But him and Amari Cooper, how can you add those two guys and not completely turn your franchise around? All love to Baker. Baker's not Deshaun Watson. I'm not crazy. Unbelievable signings by the Browns. They were thought to be out of it, and then all of a sudden it turned around and Deshaun picked them.
It was out the Falcons and the Saints, and then all of a sudden,
first of all,
the Browns literally said that they were out of the race.
Between the Falcons and the Saints, are you out of your mind, Deshaun?
It helps get a $230 million fully guaranteed contract, might I add. That helps.
That is unbelievable.
He could not play a single game, and he would be a quarter billionaire.
Quarter billionaire. Number 5 for me. I went with a homer pick. I picked the Chargers. The main reason we did not make the playoffs last year, defense. We had a top 5 offense. Herbert played out of his mind almost all year. We saw it in the Raiders game. At the end of the season, he brought us back from 15 points down with 5 minutes left and converted 6 out of 6 fourth downs. Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, he is a generational quarterback. That's not an argument. I think anybody will agree with that. I think we have a team that is on offense is good enough to compete. I'm not saying they're the best offense in the league, but they're a good enough offense to help Herbert out. So
your phone is a fun little beeping game.
Well, it's on my Mac, so if I could figure out how the heck to turn on Do Not Disturb here.
I remember my first time I got a Mac, I immediately had to put
1 hour. We are on Do Not Disturb. There we go.
That's all that matters.
Anyway, our offense is good enough. Making the changes that we did on defense, Khalil Mack, which is one of the best pass rushers of this generation,
easily.
Opposite side of Joey Bosa, that was a big thing. You double, triple team Joey Bosa. No one else is going to get to the quarterback. Khalil Mack can't.
You had nothing else. Yeah, exactly.
J.C. Jackson, the top corner in free agency. He literally leads the league in passes defended and interceptions over the last 3 seasons.
Oh, he's ridiculous.
And that's
great physical,
a true number 1. Corner. Michael Davis is not a true number 1. Asante Samuel Jr. was a rookie last year who was hurt for some of the season.
In fact, Michael Davis was even in contention to be the number 1.
We needed a true number 1.
Yeah.
And then I like a lot of we signed 2 defensive linemen, Sebastian Jones-Day.
I was going to say Sebastian Jones,
which is he played with Brendan Staley on the Rams' best defense in the league last year, 2 years ago, I guess now. But it's the chemistry. It's bolstering the interior line and then giving them a pass rusher to help out, and then getting maybe I'm not going to say number 1 corner in the league because that's Jalen Ramsey. We all know that.
Yes.
A top
5
corner in the league. That's big. That helps out your defense a lot. If you especially bolstering the defensive line, that makes your secondary play better because the quarterbacks are going to have to throw off schedule a lot more. that is why the Chargers are for me, the number 5 team in the AFC to change the most.
Yeah.
My number four. I'll talk about my number 4 first because it is the Browns.
Okay.
It goes off of your number 5, or I guess loose order. Deshaun Watson obviously is a world above Baker Mayfield in the realm of football.
We don't need to disrespect my boy Bakey, but continue.
Baker played through an injury.
Yes.
And that is, you need to know when it's your time to not play. You need to know when it's too much for your body to handle. And Baker is not a bad quarterback when he's healthy. I will admit that. He's not a bad quarterback.
I appreciate that.
He's not a great quarterback.
He's top 14, top 12.
Sure.
At his best.
Yes. But
if he was healthy, he's in the Kirk Cousins talk. He's in the Jimmy G talk.
Sure. I will agree with that, even though Kirk Cousins is a borderline top 3 quarterback in the league. Adding Amari Cooper for a 5th, fantastic.
That was robbery. That was fantastic. Bad.
And Cowboys. Let me go here because I do have another tab open. Okay.
Thank you for breaking that down for us.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just want to check. Browns. They got Chase Winovich in a trade as well, which is to me, relatively underrated pass rusher. Was very good for the Patriots last season.
Yeah.
On their league, I don't know if it was league best defense. I think fantasy wise, I know it was.
Had to,
but it was a very good defense. Adding him as well. They might not have made as many signings as some of the other teams, but the importance of those signings in improving.
Oh yeah,
the biggest thing. They did lose Jarvis.
Yeah, but Jarvis was injured a lot last. I mean, he's not a difference maker. I'll say
Jarvis at this point of his career is not a true number 1. Amari Cooper.
Oh no, Amari easily is. Yeah.
So yeah, Browns number 4 for me.
At number 4, okay. So I have the Dolphins here.
Okay.
Dolphins. Here's the thing. The only one that came to mind was Tyreek, but that's enough for me. They added Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds.
Yes, they did.
The speed on that team with Jalen Waddle as well is unbelievable.
I agree.
I think this was almost a move that was meant for Tua too. Like, hey, if you can't get it done with this talent, you're not our guy, and they'll find out.
That's what I was just about to say.
They'll find out this year.
If Tua does not perform after this year, there are 0 excuses, in my opinion, for him.
Yeah, as long as barring a unforeseen injury or something like that. If
Correct.
everything,
if he plays I would say at least 12, 13 games healthy,
and the other
players do as well. If he has a healthy offense with him, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, the running backs that you mentioned.
They need to solidify the offensive line a little bit more, but
they did. Tyrone Armstead, fantastic signing.
Very, very injured, very, very often is the only thing.
But
easily the best tackle.
3 left tackle in the league.
Yeah, best tackle available for free agency, 100%. And that should help Tua. Obviously right tackle probably helps Tua a little bit more, just because he's a lefty.
It's true,
but I don't know. I think the Dolphins went from missing out on the playoffs again to, oh, wow, if Tua figures it out with this offense, be scared is all I'm going to say. Brian Flores is gone, though. It's a major miss for the defense.
And it's such a freaking shame.
Wow.
Such a stupid move by the Dolphins organization, and one that should not be taken lightly. Because Brian Flores was one of the most hot and up and coming coaches in the league.
It was the biggest shock when I saw that he was released.
And it's ridiculous. And
then the whole thing
for him for suing the league and the Dolphins.
The thing with Belichick, like,
you can't.
That set in stone. Oh, the Giants are legitimately just doing this because they have to. It's the bare minimum. They have to interview someone to show that they're trying. That is, when you have already made your decision, no matter what, you got to announce that. You can't just, it makes me kind of sick to my stomach that
It would be a different situation if it was another white candidate.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course.
With Brian Flores and with the history of the NFL and their head coaches.
I heard, I'll tell you right now, I heard a great analogy from Nick Wright on this very topic.
First of all, screw Nick Wright. Second of all, go ahead.
He said, could you imagine if in hockey the league was 90% black coaches? Be so weird.
Yeah.
Be so strange.
Yeah.
That's the NFL.
There is not a single black head coach in the NHL. I can attest to that.
And think about the players that play in each of those respective sports.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And I understand you get the best person for the job. Brian Flores is better than most coaches in this league that are currently coaching.
Brian Flores is better than Mike, whatever his stupid name is for the Dolphins now.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know what the guy's name is. Brian Flores, come to the Panthers, man. We want you. I'll tell you that much.
You don't want Matt Rule?
God. Oh, wow. Don't even get me started on him. Okay, let's move on.
Dolphins are my number 3, so I'll just kind of segue into
more Dolphins
talk. Tyrone Armstead is one of the best free agent signings in the entire league to me this season. A fantastic tackle when healthy. Tyreek Hill, I mean, sure. I mean, he's a top 5 wide receiver in the league, and he brings a different set of talent to that team. Jalen Waddle is already a just ridiculously fast player. Tyreek Hill is even faster than that. You add a nice little dual threat in your backfield with Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds. Raheem Mostert is just maybe the fastest running back in the league.
It's just a crazy out of nowhere, like those two guys.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous upgrade. Their defense is good. Their offense is where they needed work. And with Jalen Waddle having another season, with one season under his belt, Tyreek Hill being the explosive playmaker that he is, this team on paper should make the playoffs.
I mean,
does Tua have it in him? Yes or no? That will only come during September.
My issue is here's what we all have to realize. There's going to be a great team that doesn't make the playoffs. It's going to happen. There's going to be a team that on paper is deserving of being in the playoffs and won't make it. And it might not even be anyone's fault. It might just, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, especially with this loaded AFC.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and go into number 3. You're going to respect it. I got the Chargers at number 3.
Respect.
I mean, I think JC Jackson and Khalil Mack are 2 of the best signings, and they happened on the same team. Like, that's crazy. You get the best edge rusher, arguably with Chandler Jones, and then you get the best corner. Like, that's the difference. And then Herbert's a generational talent. But if Herbert can't win with this defense now, or can't get to the playoffs, he's going to have the Phillip Rivers effect on a lot of people.
If it is the defense's fault, though, like it was this season, Herbert passed for over 5,000 yards.
I understand, but my thing is Phillip Rivers had great stats. Didn't win.
No.
Didn't win.
Oh, trust me.
So I think
that was the only quarterback I knew growing up until 2 years ago.
I also want to let
only quarterback I watched. I know that.
when we did our top 10 quarterbacks 2 years ago, I want to let you know that you almost had Phillip Rivers as an honorable mention. You said you were inches away from picking him, but you felt it would be too homery. I just wanted to let you know that.
That was his season with the Colts.
Yes.
Okay. Because I knew what I saw in the 2019 season. If that was a season prior, coming off of his fourth in MVP voting season.
But it wasn't. So Chargers should be great. It's so early. It's so early in Justin Herbert's career to try and compare him to someone like Phillip Rivers.
Of course.
But I think that's immediately, if they don't make the playoffs with this roster now, that's going to be all the talk.
He has already broken Phillip Rivers' single season passing touchdown record.
You just got to think Joe Burrow joined a dysfunctional franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Took how often is it that you see a team with one of the worst offensive lines in football make it to the Super Bowl? That never happens.
You do not.
Joe Burrow led his team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to compare. I mean, I guess in a way I'm comparing Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, of course. But I'm just trying to say Brady and Rodgers. Rodgers is just as talented, if not more talented than Tom Brady. One guy wins, one guy doesn't.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2, great way to segue into this. This might be a shocker. I have the New England Patriots.
Wow.
Number 2 in a very, very negative way. I think
I don't have them on my list, so I want to hear this.
That's fair. I think the Patriots absolutely will finish 3rd in their division. And I think the Jets made way better moves than they did this year. I'm sorry, Bill Belichick. I know you listen. You can't. We're not in the 2000s. We're not in the early 2000s anymore. You can't win with a great defense and a good running back. You got to have star power on offense. You signed nobody at your skill positions, lost J.C. Jackson and Chase Winovich. I don't get it. This is a star-built league now. This league is about having star players at the most important positions. You have Mac Jones at your quarterback position. Upside with, at best, he's I can't even think who's just the most. He's a worse Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins at least gets he'll have a 353 touchdown yard.
I think him and Tua are very similar.
Oh, sorry. Tua is the left-handed Mac Jones, 100%. And
Colin Cowherd said that.
He did. Tua, I think even though Tua had some throws, and they happened against the Panthers that were unbelievable. You saw that accuracy. Mac Jones threw the ball 3 times against the Bills and got a W because his defense carried him. It's just the Patriots have gone in the complete opposite direction that they needed to. The Bills, one of the best teams in the league. The Dolphins went out and got Tyreek Hill. They went out and did that. Could you imagine the Patriots got Tyreek Hill? Infinitely better. They didn't. The Patriots have stalled out, and they aren't adapting to the way the league is changing. This might turn out to be a horrible take in the future. I'm totally aware of that. The Patriots are now.
It would be your first. It is usually me that has
the Patriots are now Super Bowl champions from this year. I understand that, but I'm letting you know right now, based on paper, Patriots are absolutely not even close to the playoff race. And I'm scared to say that out loud, but I'm saying it.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I really am not.
You might regret. We're going to be listening to this later, and we're going to be laughing about my take. And then all of a sudden you're going to say that, and it's immediately going to turn around on you.
Number 2 for me, I have the Bengals.
Yes.
Fresh off of a Super Bowl run, which they could not complete, unfortunately.
So close.
Very close. A minute away from a Super Bowl victory. A 4th and 2 that they could not convert. What they needed was offensive line help.
I need P. Ryan to die for that, but continue.
I agree. What they needed was O-line help for Joe Burrow. He was the most sacked quarterback in the playoffs in NFL history, and still managed to get the Bengals to the Super Bowl.
Joe Shiesty
did is got offensive line help, and they got it big time. Alex Kappa, Ted Karras, Lyle Collins. That is 3 good starters, good to great starters on your offensive line. They bolstered that offensive line. Yeah. My only issue, and it's not with this season because he will be on the team for this season, is Jesse Bates.
Yeah.
That is my issue with this team. They franchise tag Jesse Bates. I have the feeling they will not re-sign him to a deal. And when they do not, that defense, which is a above average defense, but slightly, they're going to lose pieces.
Shoots down, yeah.
And it without Jesse Bates, who is, in my opinion, a top 5 safety in the league.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Borderline top 3. You honestly top 3. I'm saying that he's a top 3 safety.
I'm saying top 3. You can make an argument. There's a bunch of guys up there that are fighting for that number 1 spot. I don't think there's a clear cut number 1.
I don't either, but it's Jesse Bates is in that conversation. If you lose him, you lose a big piece of your defense.
Yeah.
That is irrelevant for the season because they will have him. My issue is if they do not win this season
for the future, yeah,
they will have a hard time replacing him. Not to say that they won't make it back because
sure,
Burrow is a generational talent and he will always have a fighting chance, but it will make
Joe cool
on them. Anyway, despite all that, this season they bolster the offensive line, which is their biggest need. And easily. They are, again, favorites, not maybe. There's a lot of AFC favorites.
It's crazy, yeah.
They are in that conversation without a doubt.
Not very good.
Very
gonna say it. Not very good. This is tangerine. We're both drinking an orange-based soda.
Mine's orange soda, though. So
this is tangerine, and it is not a winner. Okay, number 1, I'm gonna go ahead and assume we have the same one.
Yep.
Denver Broncos. I mean, right?
Nope. The Broncos were my 6.
Okay, that's I don't even know what to say. I mean, Russell Wilson, they were a quarterback away. This team was a quarterback away from being great.
I agree.
I understand they didn't sign as many people as other teams did, but the Broncos just went from aggressively average to unbelievably above average. Like
absolutely. Drew Lock is a poor man's any quarterback ever you name.
Drew Lock is a poor man.
Yes.
But he does have some money. But here's the thing. They now have Russell Wilson, who's one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen.
Yep.
Or I'd say in our generation.
Yes.
He's gonna lead a team with Javonte Williams and Melvin and Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick, and their defense, which is unbelievable. Who's that defensive player that they signed? The defensive lineman. I can't remember. I can't recall. I told you I did no research for this, everyone. But they signed a defensive lineman who's a huge interior help for them. And
DJ Jones.
Yes, thank you. DJ Jones. And the Broncos did have the most impactful, and they are going to be, I mean, you can't go from a team that's projected 7 or 8 wins to a team that's now odds to win the Super Bowl are in the top 5 and not be on this list somehow. I'm intrigued to see who you have at number 1.
I have the Jaguars at number 1.
Okay, honestly, I'm happy because I wanted to shout out some of these teams like the Jags and the Jets, and I'm glad you did. Broncos, I couldn't put the Jags above the Broncos because I don't think the Jags are going to do anything.
I don't either, but they are the most changed team to me this year in the AFC at least. Christian Kirk on a ridiculous contract that should never have been signed in the first place.
No.
Brendan Scherf, a fantastic guard, one of the best in the league. Zay Jones from the Raiders. Excuse me if I butcher this name. The leading tackler from last season, Foyesade Oluokun, which I'm pretty sure
I'm pretty sure you just nailed it. I'm pretty sure you just nailed it.
Folorenzo Fatukasi.
Okay, that was much more.
That was worse. But I will, if I can pronounce that linebacker's name correctly, I've won in my book. Evan Ingram.
Okay.
From the Giants, and Darius Williams.
He's on the hands team
as a corner. Yeah, clearly. That is the most changed team to me in the AFC.
That's fair.
The league, they are doing a complete turnaround and are trying to give Trevor Lawrence the career that he deserves. Will they do it? Not this year. They are a maximum 6-win team, in my opinion. Still,
I'd agree with that, and I just want to see improvement from Trevor. That's all I want to see. Even if it's.
He doesn't need to be a top 10 quarterback this year.
4,200 yards and 26 touchdowns and 10 picks. If he's got something like that, yes, thank you, Trevor. Just get better and be the quarterback that you were like the LeBron James coming out of high school. Everyone was on you, and that's a lot of pressure for a dude. No, do you know how many people thought LeBron would live up to his status in high school? No one. No one thought LeBron would live up to it. And LeBron became arguably the greatest player of all time, with Michael Jordan.
Sure.
It's hard to live up to expectations.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Trevor had probably the most I've ever seen in my life. Trevor Lawrence had the most I've ever seen in my life expectations to be a great quarterback in the NFL. I haven't been around to see John Elway or Peyton Manning or guys like that back in the day, but I can't remember another quarterback who was so highly sought after as a freshman in high school to the point where he was drafted.
To see how he does under Doug Peterson.
Yeah. Ooh, I mean Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Had the best season of his career,
an almost MVP season under Doug Peterson. We will see.
If he stayed healthy, he would have been.
Absolutely.
All right. So we move on to the NFC. This will be a quicker one. I'll tell you right now.
I absolutely agree.
And
number 5.
I was just gonna say for everyone to know, I have all 4 of them are negative.
Mine are almost all negative.
Number 5, I have the Seahawks.
Okay.
You can't lose the best quarterback you've ever had in your franchise, who's still in his prime, towards the tail end of it, but he's still in his prime. And be anything. You have Drew Lock as your current starter. I don't know what else you want me to say. You guys are in a complete rebuild, which granted, that's fine. Like that's what a lot. I mean, the thing with being in this top 5 list, you're just changed. That doesn't mean you got the bad end of a deal or anything. Like you're just different. And these guys this season will not be good, but that's their plan, and that's okay.
I have the Packers here at 5.
Okay.
Simply for losing Devontae Adams.
That's enough.
I mean, he is the best receiver in the league. I think you would agree with me on that.
I would 100%
talked about this before, and we agree that he is the number 1 receiver in the league.
Yes.
And the Raiders are honestly an honorable mention on my AFC list.
100%.
Adding Chandler Jones and Devontae Adams.
2 of the best signings.
Absolutely. Losing Devontae Adams is a bigger deal to me than adding him.
Yes, I'll agree. Clearly, I'll agree because I have the Packers on my list. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
I'm just going to go ahead and name them. I'll say they're 4. They were 3, but I'll say they're 4.
Sure.
And it was just like Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you got your money. You have every right to get your money. Get your bag, my boy.
I will be back.
Okay, boys.
It's after hours, so I have to continue the after hours.
It is after hours. I'll just let you know. It's so tough because Aaron Rodgers, every quarterback, every person in the NFL has every right to go get their bag, go get their money. But there are hidden costs in getting your money. Okay, everybody? I want you to listen up. There are hidden costs in getting your money. And Aaron Rodgers got his money, but the hidden cost was losing a guy like Devontae Adams.
So much of it, too. Oh, my gosh.
He got so much money, and that's great, and that's awesome for him. Aaron Rodgers, pardon my language, is a selfish quarterback. He's a selfish player. He cares about Aaron, and that's okay. If that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. If that's what he cares about, that's what he cares about. That's fine. He has every right to. It's not going to lead to team success, and that's why he's got 1 Super Bowl when not based on his performance in the playoffs, but as a talent, he should have 3 or 4 Super Bowls in his career.
Without a doubt. I do not have the Packers on my list here. I put the Falcons on my list.
I thought you just named the Packers.
Oh, just kidding. I have them as 5. I'm dumb. I was only looking at the.
Is someone joking?
I have the Falcons on my list here at 4. They could be at 5, honestly.
Okay.
Losing Matt Ryan, who is, and he will get passed up by Mahomes, Herbert, Burrow.
It's a passing league. It's going to be continued. Yeah.
He is the current holder of all those major fastest to however many yard stats. Gaining Marcus Mariota for Matt Ryan, that is a downgrade.
I can't believe you just said that.
As much as I want to say that it's an upgrade. I can't. Getting Casey Hayward in your rebuild doesn't make sense to me. He was the number 1 corner for passer rating allowed last year. And you pick him up, sign him to a veteran contract, in your rebuild, that does not make sense to me personally.
Yeah, it's a weird,
not competitive
route to go.
Year. They're not.
Well, they're winning all of the games.
That's what they want to think, and I don't know why. Can we mention Calvin Ridley for a second? Not going to be able to play next year.
Which BS, I'll go ahead and say.
You assault a woman and you get a 4-game suspension. You gamble on your own team to win using the sponsored gambling site of the NFL, and you are out for 4 times that amount. That is ridiculous.
It's despicable. What? Okay, fine, that's fine.
Excuse my language, ass backwards, in my opinion.
Who in the hell says ass backwards?
That is a popular phrase. Thank you.
What is happening?
I'm looking that up.
Ass backwards?
That's a popular saying.
Do a lot of people
it's
say
even
that?
A movie.
Caleb, everyone comment down below. Do you say ass backwards?
If you have said that phrase before in your life, I would like to know.
I'm sorry. I must be a
Have you never heard that phrase before?
Maybe I have. Ass backwards. That is ass backwards. But why is the ass
you
even
say
necessary?
it in that tone?
Why is the ass even necessary in that situation?
That's because it's a saying.
It's a Hard Knocks. That was a song from Annie.
It was. Good job.
It's a hard knock life.
For us.
Nice. But yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying though.
Number 3,
I have the Packers. Oh wait, I said the Packers. I forgot I switched them. I have the Cowboys.
Okay.
Do you have the Cowboys on yours?
Not.
Okay. I'm disappointed with the Cowboys. I said it for the Patriots. I'll say it for them. It's a star league. You lost Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper.
Who's your one? Cedric Wilson?
Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, wait.
CeeDee Lamb. I forgot that he exists.
Cedric Wilson's gone.
Oh, my God.
They re-signed Michael Gallup.
You're right.
Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb did not have a great year last year. I'll say it. CeeDee Lamb had a lot of drops. He was not great last year. This is a star league, and you just lost 2 of your best receivers. Zeke, do you know what's wrong with him? Why is he not good anymore?
Well, he just got paid out of the freaking wazoo, which is dumb. Don't pay. Message to all NFL teams: don't pay running backs money. Don't do it. Don't.
As a Panthers fan, I can stand by
contracts. Don't do it. It's so unnecessary. It is. I don't like. People might debate this. It is the most expendable position in the NFL.
For the most part, I'll agree.
Don't sign them to $100 million contracts. It's so dumb. You can get such great value for a above average running back. I'm going to bring this up just because I know the numbers on this. The Chargers have Austin Eckler for 4 years and less than $30 million total.
What?
Yes.
That's a great deal.
He's on his 3rd year of it. This is upcoming. We have 2 more years on that deal before you have to pay him more.
That's fantastic.
It's fantastic value because you don't pay running backs. Do not do it.
The Panthers don't have that situation.
Zeke is better than Austin Eckler. That's not a debate. That's just fact. But
I might debate that now.
Respect.
Zeke, I might take Tony Pollard over Zeke. What's going on?
Tony Pollard was the Weddle a couple days ago, and I guess Zeke for that Weddle. Shout out to Weddle. Please sponsor us. You've liked all of my tweets whenever I post my Weddle.
Actually?
Thing. They hold on. I want to see.
I'm not kidding. Tell them to sponsor us, and then we'll give them each a hug, whoever runs the account.
Weddle, I love you. It is like the highlight of my day. My days aren't great, just so you guys know. That was sad. Let's see here. I tweet a lot. Sorry. Or I retweet stuff a lot.
You tweet some of the more shocking things.
I don't tweet anymore. I have.
You just tweet your Wordle and it gets 0 likes.
My dad is the only one that likes it, and I do it for him. Thank you, Dad. Okay, so this is my Weddle. I got 4 out of 8 today. Okay. Respect. I don't even know who it was today.
I always forget what is happening when I'm doing the Weddle. Like, I don't know what it is, but like
it was liked by my father, and you really cannot see that.
No, I can see it. Click on it.
Weddle. And if you go to their page, it is
how many followers do they have?
Creators of Weddle. They only have 954 followers. I am following them, but
okay.
They do the NFL Wordle. So it's like,
Yeah, respect to them, definitely.
Yeah. Ooh, if we have enough time, we should do the Weddle on camera.
Oh gosh. Okay. Number 2.
Anyway, number 2.
I'll tell you right now. Well, I can do it quickly. I have the Falcons.
Oh, I didn't say my number 3.
Who's your number 3?
The Rams. Von Miller.
I don't understand the Rams. Well, Von Miller's gone.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. He left.
Dude, did you see they got Bobby Wagner?
They did. That's why they're on this list.
What the heck? Someone said
lose Von Miller, lose Robert Woods, gain Allen Robinson, gain Von Miller.
You just said Von Miller twice. Caleb, maybe you should slow down on the Bud Light sodas. That was good.
Lose Von Miller, lose Robert Woods,
gain Allen Robinson,
gain Bobby Wagner.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they're obviously going to be Super Bowl favorites again.
They'll be up
Cooper
there.
Kupp exists. So
Cooper Kupp somehow in this last season became far and away the best player in the NFL. And I don't know what happened. I don't know how that happened. It literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
respect.
Number 2.
The Falcons. We need to talk about them. They are completely tanking, and they're somehow still going to do better than the Panthers. Continue.
I have your precious Carolina Panthers at number 2.
Yes! I didn't want to put them because I didn't want to get flamed. Oh, Caleb, I'm so proud of you.
Great signing, Matt Ioannidis.
Yes.
Fantastic. Deontay Foreman, sure.
Great. Take some of the leave off of CMC.
Xavier Woods.
Great.
Great signing. Compliment to your boy.
Jeremy Human.
Yep. Austin Corbett and Bradley Bozeman.
Great
good signings to bolster the offensive line, which was the worst in the entire league last year.
Easily.
Hello, you got literally the best punter ever to exist,
Johnny Heckman.
That was I wish we would have signed him, honestly. Fantastic punter. And then I'm going off on a limb here, and the reason why I have them at number 2 is because I don't know who's going to play at quarterback, and I don't think it's going to be Sam Darnold or Cam Newton.
Cam Newton's. I mean, we have to re-sign.
They could re-sign him, and he would be my starter over Darnold. But
no, I'll agree. Okay, I'm glad you have the Panthers because I can talk about this.
Go ahead.
Off season, I didn't put the Panthers because Sam Darnold is still our quarterback, and this is pre-draft.
It is.
Here's my dream scenario.
Malik Willis at 7.
We have a 6 pick. Here's the thing. Malik Willis at 6. I'm good with that.
As you should be. We
draft Malik. We sign Cam. Cam is the mentor for Malik. Malik went to Cam's camps growing up.
Yes, he did.
It's a great Malik. I mean, I don't know if you've seen all the things that Scott Fitterer and all the people on the Panthers front office have said about Cam. Can we end the narrative that he's a bad teammate? Literally every front office that he goes to says that he's one of the best.
I don't think he's a bad teammate.
Yes. And it's not, I'm not saying your narrative necessarily. Yeah. I just mean the narrative in general is he's such a me player, blah, blah, blah. It's
Cam Newton gets a lot more hate than he deserves. I will admit that.
Caleb, you're growing on me, man.
I think the Bud Light seltzers are growing on me.
Yeah, that's true. That's the thing. Like Cam gets so much hate, and me. Bill Belichick loved him. Bill Belichick would not deal with Cam's BS. If
he was a me player,
exactly.
Bill Belichick would have never signed him.
Exactly. Matt Rule, even with all the BS that he put Cam through, and all the stuff that he said about Cam after games says that he's an unbelievable teammate, hard worker, brings a certain tenacity to the game. And Scott Fitterer says you can't have enough guys like Cam in a locker room. That being said, Cam has passed his prime. I'm not blind to this. I'm not blind to this.
He's a shell of his former self, and he showed that.
And here's what my issue with all of this is. Ron Rivera did not protect him at all. They never signed offensive linemen for him. He was always running for his life. The refs never protected him. They treated him like a running back. Tom Brady gets nicked after a play. Flags. Cam gets head-to-head helmeted, killed. Oh, he's he's a big dude. He can handle it. Unbelievable stuff. They never surrounded him with good receiving talent, all this stuff. I understand. Yes.
Rivera was a defensive-minded coach.
Yes, I'm a big Cam fan.
Because he came from the Chargers.
He's obviously he's not him. He's not the same player, but he has not had an off season with a team. Are we forgetting that? Do you know how hard it is to come in off of your couch and start a week after you're signed, which is what he did?
And no preseason.
He had 250 yards and because he had a rushing touchdown, 3 touchdowns.
It's hard to do.
Like in his first game back, starting the game that I was at, like I understand he's not himself, but can we maybe see if he's got a little bit better than he's shown and give him a full off season with a team? It seems like a ridiculous ask. He never gets signed in time, and it pisses me off. So that's what I want is Malik Willis and then a Cameron Jarrell signing. If we don't get Malik Willis, I'm fine with an offensive lineman. If Evan Neal's available, if Ikem Ekwonu is available at that pick, I'm fine with drafting them, losing every game with Sam Darnold, and then drafting CJ Stroud or Bryce Young next year. Yeah. We need to draft a quarterback within the next 2 years, or Matt Rule gets punched in the face with.
I'd agree. My number one.
Sorry for my tangent. Okay, my number one is the Bucs. They went from Blaine Gabbert to Tom Brady in the offseason.
They went from Tom Brady to Blaine Gabbert to Tom Brady.
Well, yes, it was just the craziest, and that was, I think, everyone counted the Bucs out immediately in the offseason, and then immediately they're back in contention. Yeah. And that was just, I think that was just the first one that came to mind. I was like, well, the Bucs got to be on here. So, yeah, but I mean, we already talked about the Seahawks as well. They're just in a complete rebuild. No Bobby, no Russell. DK should have left. He apparently wants to stay and rebuild with his team.
He said it's my time now. They get Uchenna from my Chargers. Re-signing Will Dissly was a bit on his contract was a bit of a mind boggler to me because he's getting paid a lot more than he should. But they are one of the most changed, in my opinion, the most changed NFC team.
That's right. I mean, they're 100% towards the bottom of that conference, not just the division of the conference.
I agree. All right, we took a little break there.
Little bathroom break.
We will go on to our next segment, our final segment of the.
I feel so rejuvenated.
I do too. It is a debate session here.
Thank you for clarifying that one more time.
Switch off questions.
Okay.
And my first question, I'll go first.
All right, let's do it.
The Chiefs are a bottom 2 team in the AFC. Are they? Or are they not?
No.
All right. Who's your top 2 then? The Chiefs are obviously in that. You have to kick one of the other 3 teams out of the top 2. One of them has to stay. 2 of them have to go. Your top 2 teams in the AFC are the Chiefs and
Broncos.
I have the Broncos and Chargers at 2, 1 and 2.
I mean, obviously, the way you phrase this question, I knew the Chiefs were not in your top 2.
No, they're not.
And I understand the loss of Tyreek Hill seems big.
Their defense is now worse than both the Broncos and the Chargers. Yes. Their offenses now are, I'm not going to say up to par with the Chiefs, But with a loss of Tyreek Hill, who is your number one now? Juju is your
Juju,
number one?
Marquez Valdes-Scantling,
That's
McCole
your receiving
Hardman.
core. Does that
honestly? I don't hate it. I mean, you got to think about what Patrick Mahomes is good at: throwing the deep ball, off schedule plays,
off schedule throws.
You got Marquez Valdes-Scantling, one of the fastest players in the league. McCole Hardman, one of the fastest players in the league. Juju, a great check down receiver, and then Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the league.
Absolutely. But
everyone's acting like the Chiefs just became the biggest stallman of offense.
They're not, but they might be the third best offense in the league now, or in the division.
They might be the fourth best. You're okay. Let me read off some names for you off of my brain: Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs.
That is a better offense than what the Chiefs have to offer.
But here's the thing. We're not mentioning, Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes.
Sure.
Offense is not just skill positions.
But let's go through the offenses of the AFC West. The Broncos have Russell Wilson now.
Worse than Mahomes.
Worse than Mahomes, sure. Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton are Tim Patrick, and very underrated in my opinion, KJ Hamler, who was a rookie last year.
Yeah. Very
young receiving core, but very promising receiving core. That is number 3 or 4 to me as far as offenses go. The Chargers, in my opinion, have the best offense in that division.
I mean, what did they add anything?
No, but they didn't have to.
Yeah, but like
they were Chiefs, a top 5 offense. Here's the thing:
we're acting like the Chiefs aren't going to use their 2 first rounders that they now have to trade up into the top 15. And
you're telling me that person's somehow going to even remotely stack up to Tyreek Hill?
He doesn't have to. Have you seen the receiver draft class this year?
It's great. But what if the Chargers take one of those receivers at 17? Jameson Williams.
I'm telling you, the Chiefs are going to use their 2 first rounders and trade up into the top 14.
I don't.
And they're going to draft Jameson Williams. And then we're not even going to be having this discussion. Not that Jameson will be better than Tyreek, but Jameson will be.
Let's talk about right now, though, without the draft.
I understand.
But that's all hearsay.
I'm not betting against my homeboy.
I'm not either. But if you take away his first or second, if you count Travis Kelce in, his we'll say deep threat and best like off schedule weapon, the fastest player in the league. If you take that away from him, he's still a fantastic quarterback, probably the best in the league still. But still, you give him McCole Hardman, Juju, and MVS. That's not Tyreek Hill.
Well, here's the beauty: is we have absolutely no idea what it's going to be like.
That's why it's a debate.
McCole Hardman could come out and be the next guy. He's been the third option on a team this whole time.
He's the 4th option on that team. With Travis Kelce, MVS, and Juju, he is the 4th best receiving option on that team.
McCole Hardman's he'll be in his 4th year this year.
Sure.
I don't necessarily mean, how old is Valdes-Scantling?
He's younger.
Is he? Okay, he's in his 5th year this year.
So he's one
year older.
Ahead.
But
what he's done as a deep threat is better than what McCole Hardman has done as a deep threat.
Well, where's the proof? I'm looking at the stats right now. Valdes-Scantling averages about 500 yards a season. He'll have 400 sometimes and 600 other times. And then McCole Hardman has 538, 560, and 693. There's no proof that Valdes-Scantling has done more.
Okay.
And we're also saying McCole Hardman in his games, he started 5, 8, and 8, and he's still putting up those stats. I'm not saying McCole Hardman's going to be the next guy. I'm just saying I want to see what he is. We've never had to see him be anything other than worse version of Tyreek Hill.
I will like to see what he is, and the Chiefs offense could be just as good next season. Losing Tyreek Hill, on paper, we have nothing. That's what's so exciting about the offseason, is that we can speculate without knowing.
And that's the thing. That's the same with the Broncos. We don't know where Russell Wilson's going to be.
Absolutely.
All of these are hypotheticals.
And that is why I put the Chargers at number 1, because we have seen what he's done with that offense. And it is a top 5 offense in the league with the same exact group.
Yeah, that's fair.
With Herbert.
So you think the Chargers are number 1 in the AFC West?
I absolutely do.
Okay. Well, that's shocking.
I think it's Broncos and Chargers, 1A and 1B. You can flip it however you want to. I have said this and I know you know this. I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast. The Broncos were a franchise quarterback away from being Super Bowl contenders.
That's why they were number 1 for my AFC teams, because they were a quarterback away. That's why I have the Broncos, and I'm not betting against my homeboy.
The Chargers were also a average defense away from being Super Bowl contenders. We got
okay. Well, you just hopped to Super Bowl contenders.
I absolutely do.
You can't be an average defense away and not even make the playoffs without an average defense to be a Super Bowl contender.
We were not an average defense. We were.
No, I understand. You're saying if they were an average defense, you're a Super Bowl contender. I think there's a step you're missing in there. They got to be playoff bound first. They haven't been playoff bound in the whole time Herbert's been there.
Correct.
And I understand they haven't had
because we haven't
defense.
had
I know, but if you have
a good defense too,
but you haven't been in the playoffs. Before
neither have the Broncos.
I understand that, but the Broncos changed. They got a quarterback. That's what their biggest issue is. But the Chargers were never in the playoffs with this whole core. So let's say before they're Super Bowl bound, let's say, hey, they're playoff bound now with this defense, and let's see if Herbert can lead them to the promised land. Russell's been to a Super Bowl.
Russell's won a Super Bowl.
Russell's been to 2.
Yeah.
Herbert's never been to the playoffs. So let's calm down on trying to compare these 2 squads, okay?
I respectfully, I will not calm down about that. Because
Caleb, you're always so high on the Chargers, and it never pays off.
When's the last time you've seen this much star power on our team?
Here's the thing. I'm also high on the Chargers. I think I think all 4 of these teams could make the playoffs.
In my opinion, they will.
You think it'll be? I don't know. I mean, if the Browns don't,
we will go on our hashtag sponsored but not sponsored playoffpredictors.com and do that.
I'm excited to try that out. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a great question. I think the Raiders are the worst team.
The Raiders are still number 4. Chiefs,
but
number 3. Broncos
and
Chargers are 1A and 1B.
See, can you honestly say Mahomes is gonna be 3rd in a division? I just can't. Yes. He's never not been first.
I know that.
I can't bet against him.
On paper, I can't. And that is all we have to go off of right now.
I mean, I got the eye test. I got Mahomes on the eye test. Mahomes has been to the AFC Championship 4 straight years.
Yeah.
That's what the eye test tells me. All right, let's move on to the next debate.
Tyreek Hill. They made no major additions. They lost something on the offense.
Well, they did add Valdez-Scantling and Juju.
Those 2 do not compare to Tyreek.
Well, I'm just saying. You said they made no additions. They made 2 to their receiving.
I'm saying they did not improve on offense. They downgraded on offense.
I mean, for the season, yes.
Yeah.
But they also got 5 picks, which is crazy.
They did.
5 picks is excuse my language, a shit ton of picks and they don't have to pay Tyreek Hill.
Correct.
So, I mean, granted, for this season, it very well could be the Chargers.
Will I be surprised if the Chiefs win the AFC West again? No, I won't be. On paper, before the draft starts, do I have 2 other teams faring better than they do? Yes, absolutely.
My homeboy can't go against him. All right, let's go on to the next topic. Because this goes right into it. Who does the Tyreek Hill trade help more?
In my opinion, it's the Chiefs.
I think I'll agree. I think long term, it's a totally loaded question. Short term, who does it help more? Dolphins.
I don't even agree with that.
Okay. I think the Chiefs are going to be helped more because they have 5 future picks.
They do.
In this moment, none of those picks have been used. So we can't assume that they're going to use it on anyone. We have no assumptions. Exactly. So that's why I'm saying Tyreek Hill helps the Dolphins immediately more right now. But long term, it's going to be.
I do not think Tua is a good enough quarterback to take them to the playoffs.
It's so funny because when I was listening to the pod today from back in the day, you were so much higher on Tua than you are now.
Because he was such a good quarterback in college. And I've seen what he's done in 2 years. And granted, he's been injured. Granted, he hasn't had the firepower on offense.
He's had one of the worst offensive lines in the league.
Yes. He did not have the firepower on offense that he had. Or that he has currently.
Yeah.
Again, same thing for you and my homeboy. It's the eye test. I have not seen anything from Tua to tell me that he is a playoff quarterback. It doesn't matter. He had Jalen Waddle. Granted, they won 7 of the last 8. They also lost 7 of their first 8. I need to see consistency from Tua, and I very well could this season.
That's a fair
I could
critique.
absolutely be completely wrong, like I happened in the past.
Many times.
But still, that is what I stand by. That is what I've seen. I can only go by what I've seen, and I can only go by what I have on paper. I don't think Tua is a good enough quarterback to lead that team in a very stacked AFC. I do not think he's a good enough quarterback.
Well, here's the thing. I think the Dolphins are the second best team in that division. And if you think the Chiefs are the third best team in that division, it might have helped the Dolphins more because the Chiefs weren't third before they lost Tyreek, were they? And the Dolphins weren't second. Wow. I just blew my own mind with that. That was pretty good.
I'll give you that one.
All right, sweet. All right, what's your second one?
Rank these quarterbacks based on when it's all said and done for their careers.
Okay.
Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert.
I hate this. I hate this question because it's so hypothetical. You know,
that's what makes it a debate.
It's just so aggravating.
It's a good question for a debate.
Well, here's the thing. Right now, what we have is Joe Burrow's got a Super Bowl appearance.
Yep.
He's currently it's Burrow, Allen, Herbert. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm not saying right now.
I understand. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Let me tell you why. I don't think that's the order of most talented. I think Herbert's the second most talented of that group, arguably the first.
Okay.
What I think it's going to come down to, Herbert's got to play Mahomes twice a year for the rest of his career.
Yep.
He's got to play Russell Wilson twice a year for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Who does Josh Allen have to play?
Tua,
Mac Jones. Maybe Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson could be something. But right now, that's those 3. Joe Burrow's got to play, of course, Deshaun Watson if his legal troubles fall through.
Sure.
Mitch Trubisky. And Lamar. Lamar's great. So that's why I think, honestly,
Herbert does have the best competition out of all those 3 quarterbacks.
And my thing is, the reason I put Burrow ahead of Herbert, Burrow's got a Super Bowl appearance already. Who's to say he'll ever get back? I don't know. Herbert, I wouldn't bet he's getting to the Super Bowl. Phillip Rivers never got to a Super Bowl. Yeah. Phillip Rivers didn't have Patrick Mahomes in his division, and he still never got to a Super Bowl. You know, Josh Allen, I think Josh Allen could win MVP next year. Josh Allen's got the rushing ability that makes people wow kind of thing. He's got that kind of talent where his rushing is unbelievable, and then he's got a cannon of an arm. So that's kind of my thought process is Josh Allen's going to be the best quarterback out of all of them. I would put Josh Allen at 1, I think, every time you ask me this question. it's those last two. But right now, for their future and for their legacy, which I think is what we're talking about, Burrow currently has a higher legacy. And I don't think Herbert, unless all things go right, maybe Mahomes gets injured for a year or something, like the way almost Joe Burrow did this year. Joe Burrow, everything went right for him. The Ravens were down because of the injuries. Steelers had Big Ben. Browns had chaos all around them. The Bengals just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and Joe Burrow showed up and got him to a Super Bowl. He didn't win it, but he got there. And I don't know if Herbert will ever get there.
Here's my ranking. Josh Allen, number 1. Okay. Herbert, number 2.
Yeah.
Burrow, number 3.
Yeah.
Let me explain. Josh Allen, right now, out of those 3, this is what it comes down to me, has the best defense out of those 3.
It's true.
Has had the best defense out of those 3, and has shown he has the most talent out of those 3. That is what it comes down to me. Talent and defense. Josh Allen has been to the AFC Championship before. He has played against the Chiefs twice in the playoffs before, lost both times. But I think he's the most talented quarterback out of those 3. And I think he has the best chance of returning to a Super Bowl and winning one out of those 3.
I'll agree.
Here's why
he should return into a Super Bowl. He hasn't ever been, though.
Okay, true. Fair enough. Here is why I have Herbert over Burrow.
Okay.
Herbert is a more talented quarterback than Joe Burrow is.
And I'll agree.
Brandon Staley is a factor in this. I believe that his more aggressiveness with our team as it gets better will pan out in the long run more than Joe Burrow with Zach Taylor. Joe Burrow did not have a great playoff run this season. Statistically, he made the Super Bowl, and I will not take that away from him. I wanted the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. I was rooting for Joe Burrow. This is nothing against Joe Burrow.
Sure. Yeah.
I want to see him succeed. He did statistically not have a better season than Herbert this year. Statistically, he did not have a great playoff run. I think that Herbo, yeah, sure, Herbo.
Sure, why not?
Over the course of their entire careers, and I'm sure there's some bias, I will not deny that.
Yeah, there is, but it's okay.
This, and I'm not gonna not admit that. Like, sure, I'm sure that's some part of it. I didn't have Herbert at 1, so I feel like that's a win in and of itself.
That's true.
I feel like Herbie has more talent than Burrow, and statistically, I know Burrow was cut short of a rookie season, which he most likely would have won. Not most likely. They would have, Herbie and Burrow.
They would have been battling.
Battled out for Offensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, excuse me. Herbie has just shown more talent, more arm talent, more off-schedule talent. What we have seen from Patrick Mahomes and what makes him so great is his off-schedule throwing. To me, Herbert has shown that more than Burrow. Who knows with a better offensive line what Burrow might do? I could be absolutely wrong, and Burrow could win MVP this season. I'm not counting that out. Burrow is a good enough quarterback to win MVP this season. So was Herbert, so was Allen. All 3 of them are.
They're great, 100%.
All 3 of them are generational talents that will be the front runners of the AFC along with Mahomes.
And Lamar.
For the foreseeable. I think Lamar out of those 5 is the worst quarterback. But I'm not taking anything away from Lamar in this. I don't want to say that I'm not Jake here. Lamar is not a running back. He is a great quarterback.
He's a great quarterback who could play running back if he wanted to.
Exactly. I'm not going to take that away from him. He is a fantastic quarterback. This just comes down to what I believe talent-wise and coaching-wise,
defense-wise.
what will be the best fit, who will be the best quarterback when it's all said and done, considering those possibilities, those separate scenarios. I think Herbert will be the better quarterback.
I think what it comes down to for me is Burrow came into a situation that was so much worse than the Chargers, that was so much worse than the Bills.
Sure.
And within a season, got into a Super Bowl.
Sure.
That is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And arm talent is great. Yeah, 100%. But legacy-wise, seems crazy.
Legacy-wise, Burrow has it, and it's not
Brady or Rodgers. You know, like
Brady.
Obviously, exactly. And I'm not saying Brady's going to be Burrow, or sorry, Burrow's going to be Brady. I'm not trying to be crazy, but just in that general consensus, I don't think talent automatically leads to better career, and that's kind of why I have Burrow over Herbert, just for the very.
And I mean, you could make an argument for any one of them at 1, any one of them at 2, any one of them at 3.
Yeah,
this is opinion based, and that's why it's.
That's what makes it fun.
All right, last question, and we'll end the pod here.
All right, it's just a very basic opinion on the new OT rule,
and we'll keep it short just because I know this is running long.
Yeah.
Go ahead one more time.
Sorry, opinion. What is your opinion on the new overtime rule?
Not a fan.
I'm a fan. I'm glad we disagree.
I figured. In my opinion.
Okay, you go first.
In my opinion. So for those who don't know, the overtime rules were to be, or are for starting the next season. Each team gets a possession, an offensive possession.
This is only in the playoffs.
Only in the playoffs. In my opinion, and statistically, defense wins championships. The top offense in the league has not won a Super Bowl since Breeze did it against the Colts back in 2009. That is a fact.
The Chiefs weren't the top offense in 2019?
Say that again?
The Chiefs weren't the best offense in 2019?
No, they were not.
Okay. I'm not doubting you. I just am surprised.
No. I do believe that football is a team game.
Sure.
That is offense and defense and special teams. You need a good enough group to win you the game regardless of what it is. The Bills had a good defense. The Chiefs, I'm just talking about the Bills-Chiefs game. Chiefs had a better offense than the Bills defense. And they showed up when it mattered most.
15 seconds.
I think that it's honestly a little bit ridiculous that let me make this point before I end.
Go.
Overtimes in any other sport are whoever scores first on offense. Here's the thing. Soccer, hockey, whatever it may be, basketball. You cannot score points on defense in any of those other sports. You can score points on defense in the NFL. And defense is, in any other sport, half the game. But especially when it's it is leaning more towards an offensive driven league. You still need to you can't build one side of the ball over the other. It is a 3-phase game, and all 3 phases need to be good in order for you to win a football game. If your defense is not good enough to stop a team from driving 75 yards down the field and scoring on you, you do not deserve to win the game.
Okay.
In my opinion.
That's fair. Here's why I like it, okay? Football was always about defense, right? Correct. Growing up, defense wins championships. Absolutely. All this.
And it still does.
I would argue against that, though, because if you think about it, all of the best quarterbacks from every division last year won their division.
Okay.
The league has shifted. Who was the quarterback of the Ravens in 2000?
Trent Dilfer.
What's his legacy?
The top of the dome.
I'm proud of you. What's his legacy?
Super Bowl winner, not a great quarterback.
Yeah.
Not a good quarterback.
Because the Ravens defense led him there.
Correct.
Nowadays, you can't get to the playoffs if you're not the best quarterback in your division. Obviously, there are exceptions, of course. But nowadays, it is so much more about the offense and the coach, quarterback, offensive line. Those are your three most important things. If those three are good, that's in the words of Colin Cowherd. If you got those three things figured out, the rest usually follows suit. If you got your coach figured out, you got your guy, and you got guys to protect him. Usually everything else follows through. Now, how does that relate to the overtime rule? If the league is shifting to more offensive-based talent, both offenses should get a chance to show their talent. And let me tell you, my dream scenario in the overtime, I've told you this before, it's Nick Wright's rule. Second time I've mentioned him. One team, the home team, gets to decide where on the field the first play is going to start. He could choose, we want it to start on your own 5-yard line. You got to travel 95 yards. If you score a touchdown, you win. Here's the thing. The other team, the away team, gets to decide, do we want to start on offense or defense? What is the distance that you would need to travel to where it becomes a choice that, if they're starting on their own one, I want to start on defense. You've made your choice. Now, if you can't stop them, there's no one else to blame. You could have started with the ball if you wanted to. And I like that more because it becomes a lot more choice-based. Both teams get that opportunity. It's not left up to the odds of a coin, which are just tossed up in the air. And if you're a team like the Bills or the Chiefs, or if you're a team like the Chiefs especially, and you thrive on offense and you can get by anybody, the Bills have no shot. And I'm okay. I was okay with the rules. I wasn't one of those guys who thinks it was completely rigged and that the NFL should be disbanded because the Bills didn't get a shot on offense. But I do understand it's an offense league. Give both offenses a shot. If both of them score, then then next score wins. Sure.
I was a fan of when they changed it from first score wins the game to
touchdown
wins it, field goal, the other team gets a shot. Because the main objective in football is to A, not let your team score a touchdown. B, not let your team score any points. If you hold them enough to only hold them to a field goal, you have a shot to either tie the game up or win it for yourself.
True.
Great teams should not allow the other team just to drive down and score a touchdown on them. Sure, hold them to a field goal. Bend, don't break. But you need to build your team around offense, defense, special teams. It can't be offense, defense, special teams. Like it cannot be that way. We saw that most recently in the
Chiefs
2020
Bucks
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Chiefs Bucks 38-9 or whatever it was.
Well, the thing is, it didn't even get to an OT because defense is still important. You still got to be able to win in the trenches.
Wins championships. Who was the better offense in that? The Chiefs.
Do you really want to argue that? Chiefs 49ers?
Fair enough.
You can pick and choose whatever you want to make your point. Obviously
that's
the Bucks
what makes
Chiefs,
statistics so
obviously fun, the Bucks and Chiefs Super Bowl was won by the trenches. It was won by the Bucks defense. The Chiefs 49ers had the best defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't matter. Chiefs scored 15 unanswered in the fourth quarter, like all this. It's the league. No one is going to deny that. You know what you said earlier. Matt Ryan's records are going to be broken by Mahomes and Herbert and Allen and all these guys because the league is moving towards an offensive league. Everybody's passing. It's high scoring games, high flying offenses. Because the league is changing, that means the rules have to change with it. I think
I don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay.
I think that and I'm not going to be a person to like, okay, I'm not going to watch the NFL anymore because these overtime rules. I'm not going to like overly hate on him. They're changed. They are what they are. We'll embrace it, and that's fine. I prefer it the other way, but it's not like I'm going to make this huge hissy fit.
Sure.
Like, oh, they need to be this way, and that's final. No.
The only way, yeah.
It's not the only way. Because sometimes, I'll agree with you, rules do need to be changed. In my opinion, this was not the rule to be changed that way.
I do like that it's playoffs. I do like that.
I do like that as well. I'm glad that if they made that change, and since they did, it wasn't
every overtime,
every single overtime, because I do like it. I really do so much prefer. Do not let them score a touchdown. If they score a field goal, you have the opportunity to score a touchdown yourself or tie it up with a field goal. I do like that. But again, I don't make the rules. I am a fan for a reason.
You don't make the rules for the NFL?
It might be a shock to everyone listening or watching. I do not. But yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm going to complain about it or that's just what I prefer. I'm not going to throw this huge fit.
You should.
Those are the rules now, and that's okay. I prefer one.
I'm proud of you.
But it is what it is. I'm not going to lose my passion for football. Cheers to that. I'm gone. Mine's out.
This is my 5th one.
Jeez. This is only number 3 for me.
How is it?
Well, it's gone. So it's about here right now.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Well, everyone, thank you so much. I have no clue how long this lasted.
I'm pretty sure it's an hour and 45 minutes.
Beautiful. Hour 45. That's
crazy.
That's a good length for a season premiere. Thank you.
Off-season premiere.
So much for tuning in. Season 3, season premiere. Wait for this to come up. It should be out. What's today? It's technically tomorrow. April 1st. April Fools.
Gotcha. This isn't a real video.
This isn't going to be released at all. Happy everyone. Yeah, this should go out tomorrow, which is today. Happy April, everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. A lot more What the Football content going to be coming soon.
To a theater near you.
To a Zoom meeting near you.
To a Apple podcast near you.
Or a Spotify or a YouTube. Thank you so much, everyone. Whether you're watching, whether you're listening, thank you so much for tuning in. And with that.
Well, guys, it's been a while, but I'm feeling an urge to tell you guys something, and it's that I love you.
I'm going back to season 1 rules.
So the Chargers are over 500?
I need the Chargers. I will not say I love you until the Chargers are in the playoffs.
Wow. They better make it then.
You're all amazing fans. The 3 people watching.
All 3 of you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to What the Football After Hours. And with that, this has been What the Football.
What the Football.
What the Football.
Hey. There it is.